Mr. Hitchens, if you could in some way illuminate inside the mind of a neoconservative, because I don't know if you align yourself with them directly, but the idea of, you said that we have, through our sanctions, perhaps created this Rwandification, and now we're going in to fix that, this thing that we created. Okay, so we've created the scenario that we're going to now go in and fix. I mean, you kind of made that loop. You also said that unilateralism is something that if we could see that the French, if a veto is unilateral behavior, then you would say, okay, finally someone said that's unilateral, whereas we're only unilateral because we have the capability, which is, I think, in a way disingenuous, because unilateral is not only the capability, but choosing on your own terms to do something. So these are two arguments that I find that you have made that seem circular to me. So I'm wondering if you could illuminate in some way the logic that the neoconservatives have used, or the war planners have used, that is not circular and that is founded in something that is moral or real beyond this country's going down the toilet, although we made it go there. And so we're going to fix the thing that we created.
Gentlemen, I'm going to ask, we are over our time, so I'm going to ask you answer these questions and any concluding statements you want to say at the same time.
Goodness.
Sorry.
Well, I think it was Alfred Kazin reviewing someone or other, Lionel Trilling. No, Lionel Trilling reviewing Alfred Kazin says, who's this we you keep mentioning? It's an important point to bear in mind. Sometimes one has to say as a critic or a reviewer, we find ourselves, etc. So, well, be careful in this case. The record of past administrations, not including, as it happens, the Bush-Cheney one in Iraq, is something that is a responsibility, it seems to me, devolves upon the United States. Its citizens, its taxpayers, its Congress, its State Department, and so forth. And has to be discharged through whatever administration that might happen to be. I'll remind you that in 1998, on the initiative of the Clinton administration, the Senate and House passed the Iraq Liberation Act, in the case of the Senate without a single dissenting vote, saying it shall be the policy of the United States to change the government of Iraq and remove the government of Saddam Hussein. That was after quite a long debate on the merits of the case. It's a pity that the administration that proposed the act didn't enact it, but I can't help that, because I'm not part of that we. All I am is a voice in this debate, and you can hear what I say and challenge me on it. So I think I evade nothing by saying that. As to the question of which two of you asked, was about, well, can one take them seriously? Look, the best thing the Bolshevik Party ever did, in my opinion, was to publish the secret treaties that the Tsarist government had signed. When it broke open the Tsarist foreign ministry, they published the treaties that all the Allies had secretly agreed to during the First World War, including, most importantly, the Sykes-Picot Agreement between Britain and France to carve up Syria, Iraq, and Palestine after the war. This made it quite impossible for Woodrow Wilson to say that American help for Britain and France was not a participation in an imperialist war. It made him look stupid. It clearly was an imperialist war. It had been from the beginning, as anyone could have seen. Well, but Mr. Wilson, pious hypocrite though he was, had to come up with something. Came up with the 14 points instead as a justification for later establishing the League of Nations and establishing the principle of self-determination. Did he really believe it? I'd have to be him to know. But if the Bush administration says, or the Clinton administration says, our foreign policy is incompatible with the existence of Saddam Hussein or any other totalitarian regime, whether they believe it or not, it's a standard to which I think one should try and hold them. They've made a statement that's become the property of the meeting. Don't let them take it back.